community involvement or the volunteering activity if you do any. So all these sections also you can provide in your resume, but only if there is a blank space, then only you can have achievements, awards, and additional sections. Because we have seen that in the time of interviews also they ask that tell me something which is not in the resume. So at that time you can mention about your community involvement, your volunteering activities, your extra participations, and your achievement awards. So if blank space is there in resume, then only include all these activities, otherwise keep it for your interview so that you can at that time. Then things to remember when we say, first of all, use a professional email and LinkedIn URL address. So many a times students have or the people have their email ID in a way of like Mr. XX grapes at the rate gmail.com, something like that, which is not at all acceptable. And even in LinkedIn URL address, so I'll show with an example that that has to be also in a professional way. Then your contact information should be up to date. Your font size can be 10 to 12. Don't make it too bold or too small so that it becomes not readable for the recruiter. Obviously, use always use reverse chronological order. So if you are in a experienced way, then whichever company you are working first, mention that first. And in education history also mention the current program which you have enrolled, and have your content to the left align or strategic use of bold caps and italics, attractive and readable font. So Vardhana, Arial, and Helvetica are some of the commonly used fonts which we use for resumes. Then you should have your sections, subheadings. You have your URLs. So for your social media profiles, for example, you can mention for LinkedIn, you can mention for your GitHub links. If you have your personal blogs, then you can mention those URLs, or your academic portfolios. So you can mention all that information here. You should use a right template, horizontal preferred. So many a times I have seen that in the example also I'll show that these days resume templates are mainly made from some of the online platforms, and we divide it into two sections. So in one section we write about education and experience, and in one section we are writing about the contact information or the skills. But sometimes it is good, but sometimes it is not preferred in the industry because a recruiter spends around 7 to 8 seconds to screen a resume. So if you have a splitted information, then obviously uh, it actually created a problem, or it created a hindrance to actually see. So just make sure that your resume is in horizontal way. It should have information in this manner, and it should not be like the page should not be separated vertically wise. Then you have to mention your balance your text and the white space. White space should not be there. Then obviously the important point is always use everything with your action verbs. So instead of writing that I did this in this company, you should start that initiated a plan to do this, or performed in this, or maybe developed a machine learning model in this. So always start your things in with an action verbs. Then always share your resume or save your resume in a PDF form. I have seen many people share their resume in PDF form digitally, but it create hindrance for the recruiter because Word file access, like maybe you are using 2016, I may be using 2019, some would be using Microsoft 365. So Word file changes. So if you share your resume in PDF format, then it becomes uniform for everyone. So consider always save your resume in your PDF format. Then add achievements to your experience section as well. So while being in office, while being in job, if you have got any certificates, maybe applause, maybe an extra miler, maybe some service records, so all those achievements also you can mention. And add numbers and details. So people want to, if you are saying that I developed a model, then it is not appealing to me. But if you are saying I develop a model which actually reduce the cost of the company by maybe 50% or 30%, then that is something which I'm looking for. So add numbers and add details wherever possible. Then proofread your resume, which is very much important. So I'll give a short example. Back in my school days, I had my friend also who had made her resume, And during her school day, like she mentioned her school. So her school was Kendriya Vidyalaya public school, but she forgot to have L in public. So it becomes Kendriya Vidyalaya public school. And because of that, the recruiter actually teared the resume on her face, and she told that you don't even know how to write a resume. How will you qualify for a company or something like that? So it was a very small mistake, but it actually created a wrong impression in front of a recruiter. So always proofread your resume. You can give it to someone who is elder to you, or someone in your job preference, or maybe your friends who can actually check back and see that if there are not any mistakes. And consider adding your hobbies and interest sections only if there is an extra space. But there also don't write that you like dancing, you like gymming, you like photographing. If you are mentioning you like dancing, then mention in dancing which form do you like. If you write that I like music, so what type of music? Maybe a vocal music, maybe instrumental music, maybe you like music creation. So give them a detailed answer so that they understand that where you are coming from actually. Now, how we make resume more appealing towards data science. So when we talk about data science, then we can have the project and publications, and four pointers we can have under the project and publication which we mention. So we can mention about the function of our project, that what was the purpose of that project, why I built that model, why I did that data set solving, why I did the data cleaning, then how I did. I used logistic regression, I used machine learning algorithms, I used clustering, what I did to make that project. Then all other technology or tool use. Maybe I use Python, I used R, I use SAS, I use Tableau, whatever the technology and tools you have used, you can mention them. And then a deployed link. If you have made that thing and you have the code or everything, then you can mention your GitHub link for the same, or maybe an article link for the same, if you have. So that is a mandatory thing. That is not a mandatory thing. So like this you can mention about the same. And then coming to company and job title, in that way you can quantify and highlight your accomplishments in your experience bullets. You can highlight that if you increase the productivity or efficiency. So as I said, whatever you did in your office times, whatever work is there, it should impact the business. It should increase the productivity, it should increase the efficiency, it should increase the revenue. So in that way only you can mention it. Then did you work with a specific type of clients, but never mention the client name. So you cannot say that I work for so and so clients. You can just mention that I work for the clients in the manufacturing sector, in the industrial sector, or maybe in retail and consumer sector, but don't mention the name of clients. Then what kind of tools and technologies you have worked with, and any other major accomplishments in this role that would relate to that. Whatever I have done in this job, it will be needed for the job you are applying for. So all those accomplishments also you can mention here. Then some of the skills which you can mention. So you can mention about your data analysis skills, statistics, then data visualization, quantitative analysis, machine learning, your modeling, your mathematics, probability, debugging, programming. Some of the soft skills which should be there in a data scientist: critical thinking, your communication, your research, time management, collaboration. All that skills you can mention in your resume. Also you can have a data science and data analysis related summary. So you can say that I am a certified Microsoft data scientist who is working in the industry for last 6 to 7 years, looking forward to join organization to leverage my skills, to leverage my knowledge further. Something like that. A small summary can be there in your resume. Then you can mention your GitHub, Kaggle, LinkedIn, academic portfolio links. By that they will actually understand that whatever you are doing, whatever model you are making, you are actually deploying them also. So all those links can be mentioned. You can mention about the relevant skills relating to your languages, the programming thing and tools. So all other languages that we have: Python, R, SAS. Then tools we have Alteryx, we have Tableau, Power BI, all other extra tools and knowledge you can mention about that. You can mention about the details of hackathons, of data science summit, of workshops or conclave if you have attended. So these days AWS AWS Summit is something which is very much famous, and some hackathons are going around. So if you have participated in the same, you can mention all those details for your data science resume, because that is something which recruiters looks for. And then you can mention about your certifications and what you have learned from them. So always, whenever you are mentioning about the certificate or the internship, then also mention your understanding in a star format. So what is a star format? Star format means situation, task, action, and result. That is star format. So whatever the situation was, what was the task given, and what was the action you took, and what was the result. So you have to mention about the outcome also. Like if I have pursued a Python certificate from Udemy, so I have learned this, and now I am putting or deploying my knowledge into making this model. So something like this you should mention, and not just uh, pursued Python from Udemy. This is not what I would be looking for, a recruiter looks for. So you should mention in a clear and a very brief manner what is your understanding about it. So that is a star format. Now some of the resume samples, if we see, let me know if it is visible. So just a small way, here you can just see that all the activities they have started with the verbs: saved the company, showcase total revenue, created election forecast, completed 2 large scale motion, then support and business development. Here also worked, saved. So like this you can mention, your strengths like the stakeholder engagement, strategic focus. Then you can mention about your achievements here, your no, your education history here. So this was for a business analyst. Then we have for data engineer also. So, in the same way, they have used all the action verbs here. They have used the achievements here, the certifications here, the languages which they know. And if we come to data scientist, then they have mentioned that implemented and designed a machine learning system predicted malfunctions in server hardware with more than 80% accuracy. So this is the number which I would be looking for. If they have just written that implemented and designed a machine learning system, then like what's the benefit of it? Why they have implemented? But now they are telling that if I've implemented and designed, it is actually created an 80% accuracy. So that is something which a recruiter will look for. So always use numbers that resulted in 20% revenue, 80% accuracy again, then SaaS, Tableau they have mentioned. So all these things you can mention, and all the tech stack, all the languages which the person you can mention in your resumes. Then how to create a data science portfolio. So I was talking about to mention a link. So if you don't have a link, like in GitHub, you have mentioned the codes, but you don't have an academic portfolio, then you can make an academic portfolio if you're going into a data science industry. So how to make it? In that, you can mention about some of your projects related to your subject areas or the data sets which you have worked on to. So subject areas can be the domains which you work or you want to work, maybe a marketing area or a finance area. So those subject areas can be there, and the data sets which you have worked into, that can be there. Then you can mention about your data cleaning projects, data storytelling and visualization projects can be there. A group project, if you have worked on to that, you can include, or an end-to-end system building project you can include, or maybe a blog or an article or a talk like we are giving. You if you are, that is related to data science, so you can include all those information to make your data science portfolio. Now how to get those projects? If you don't have those projects, then these are the number of websites which we have included, from where you can get online data sources, online data sets you can get from here. You can apply, you can work on the data sets, and also you will get a feedback upon the same. And these, all these are free of cost. So GitHub is there, data portals is there, data.government gives all the government related data sets. Then open data, AWS, Data World, Reddit, Academic, Kaggle, Maven Analytics, Alpha AI. Alpha AI gives a fellowship program for 400 and rupees, in which you can, and they have a 6 months of program in which they actually teach for data science project. Then you have Dataset Research, Data Hub, Archive. Earth Data is a NASA's portal on which you get all the data sets related to Earth and geography, and space related data sets are there. Then you have data node. Then BFI is the industry data insight, in this which you give all the film industry, all fashion industry data sets. Then you have New Taxi Trip Record. This is a very famous data set to solve it. So you can solve this also. And then the crime data explorers. In this side, you get all the crime, all the cyber hacking, and all the cyber security, all those type of data sets you get into crime data explorer. So these are some of the the majorly used sites. We will share this slides with you guys also, so you can just explore all these sites and make your data science portfolio to get into data science industry space. And also you should make your profiles on your LinkedIn. It should be updated. These are some of the job portals where the data science jobs come into. Then Naukri is something, Indeed is there, IM Jobs, Dare to Compete, Monster, Shine. So these are the topmost job portals on which the companies actually post and hire through these sites, and you can make your profile into it and just make sure it is up to date. And some of the company review sites, if you want to see what package does it give, or how's the industry standard, how the company standard, how the company's culture, so all their companies. So you can just go to Glassdoor and Ambition Box, and you will get all the insights for the companies you want to look for. So that's for all from my side. If you have any doubts, any questions, then obviously you can ask us, and we will be glad to help you.
Yeah, please, Sudhakar, you wanna say something?
Hello, Ashi. Yeah, I don't have any doubts and all. Just wanna thanks to you so for that all the information and all. And can you share this PPT with us?
Sure, we will.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for collecting this all the information for us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, hi, Jugal.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you gave details of data source like GitHub and Reddit and all. So, are they for data science only, or business analyst can do work on that data? Or which
No,
data?
they are for everyone. So they are the open data sets in which you can work upon. So as a business analyst, you can download them and do your analysis and learning maybe on Excel or maybe on Python. But if a person is going into data science, so they would obviously leverage those data sets to deploy machine learning algorithms or maybe other libraries. So the data sets and the sources are the same. It's just the upon the knowledge. So a business analyst guy will actually use that data sets to derive business insights, but a machine learning person or maybe a data scientist person will do that to make more production, that what else can be done. So that ways you can use, but those are the great resources, because we don't, unless and until you are in a company where you are getting data, then it is okay. But if you are not getting data, then you need to have some of the resources where you can practice it. So as I said earlier also, and yesterday's also, that if you have studied about Python and R, you want to apply it also, no? So where will you apply those? So these are the sites where you can have the data sets and then apply on your own. And then you can also submit your code or submit your sheet and submit your analysis, and you will get feedback from the community also, that if you have done right or wrong or something like that. So and that ways these are the great resources to start with.
Okay. So that means on these data sources, there is a community for specific data, and they discuss like we have so it's a also
Yes,
social media site like.
yes. So like Kaggle is there, Reddit is there, and this academic torrents are there. So in that you can discuss also.
And madam, during the interview, do interviewers take practical question as answer? They give data and please give this solution for your analysis.
Yes. So as far as per my experience, which I have seen in many of the companies, so they do. So for one of the major things to check is actually guesstimates question is something which is probably asked. So you should practice that. And other is case study. So typically for business analyst and data analyst interviews, they gave you a case study, a normal problem, and they just say that take 1 to 2 minutes and just tell me how will you start that problem or how will you formulate that problem. So they just want to see that do you have that problem solving skills or not. And sometimes they give you guesstimate questions. So maybe they can give you that in a flight, how many tennis balls can fit into, or can you tell me the like from where, which is the state you belong to. So maybe you said Uttar Pradesh, so they will say that okay, tell me the population size of Uttar Pradesh. So if you know it, that's okay, but if you don't know it, then they actually are looking for the guesstimates. So or maybe they can say that Maharashtra is famous for windmills, so how many windmills are there in Maharashtra. So these type of questions they will ask, and you have to do the guesstimate thing. You should, and or maybe how many taxis are there in Delhi. So they are just looking for your problem solving skills, your number skills, and your number crunching skills. So they won't tell you that open your laptop and run the code or do the Python, do the R. No, they will just ask you these type of questions, guesstimate and case study, where you can deploy your knowledge. So if you are all in the group, I'll send you some of the links for the guesstimate solving and case studies also, which are very much asked in the interviews. So you can probably go and understand how they are solved.
Okay, so am I audible, guys? Everyone,
Okay, thank you.
uh, Jugal, Ashi, Rohit, am I audible? I've worked for 2 years into Quantify as a data engineer, and right now we have left the job and looking for data science opportunities. So he have prepared the resume with the discussing within community, and he will getting a lot of feedback. And where you have made good achievements or better performance, okay, how you'll be attracting what we can say recruiters towards your profile. So he have joined with us, and I think he'll share a bit of insights. So here's Shashank. Hi.
Hi Akash, thanks for introducing, and hi everyone. So I'll be taking maybe some 15 minutes of your time to share my experience, whatever I have been doing from last 2 months. So I'll be walking you through with the how we can go with the resume about jobs and what are few important aspects. So I'm going to give a small insight about my journey, and at the end you can ask me any questions. So I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be starting it. Okay, is my screen on share?
Yeah, we can see. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, first and foremost thing is resume preparation. So maybe I'll go. First important thing is resume preparation. So we have to fix one template. You can get those templates from anywhere. So, but I found Overleaf as one of the good websites wherein you can drop your resume using latex. So for example, I would like to show my resume what I did. Just a second. 1 second. How to drag this down? Any idea? Yeah, so I'm just showing you a sample of my one resume. So I have built everything using latex, and where is that button? Just give me 1 second. It's compile button.
I think at the right corner side there is a minimizing drive.
Toggle.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. So I would consider LaTeX as a good way to prepare our resumes. So instead of going with some other tools, LaTeX is best way, wherein with some minimal effort, you can get the existing latest code and you can edit it accordingly. For example, let me show a small thing. Yeah. For example, this is so his name. Yeah, instead of I'll be changing a name over here. I'll just be giving it as Shashank, and I'll just be doing a compile, and post that it will be changed accordingly. So first, what I will suggest is pick a template and post that, edit your resume accordingly in LaTeX. LaTeX is a best tool. And one more important thing, what I would like to point regarding resume is what you call the format. There are many templates available in resume, but if you see job market, under the hood they will parse all your resumes. So make sure that your format is parsable. For example, I have a 2-page resume, and wherein my resume is in horizontal format. So this type of template is parsable. What I mean by parsing is when you what do you call when you enter when you upload your resume, it will automatically pick what the company does under the hood is they will automatically pick your name, your details, your projects, etc. So that should happen. So for that, a template selection is a important thing. So be careful about template selection. And once your template selection is done, go to LaTeX, and Overleaf is one of the good websites wherein you can edit. And at the same time, you can provide your GitHub links, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all that stuff, whatever you want. So this LaTeX is very easy to understand, and you can. It's just like writing whatever you want. So this is first step I would feel. So first important step is choosing the right resume template, and what do you call preparing it as required. So, and one more thing I would like to share is, so if you can see in my here, so I have a what do you call prepared resume for different things. As of now, I'm looking for different opportunities. One is for data engineer as well as machine learning engineer. So I have prepared a resume for two different job aspects. So this is my data engineer resume. So which is 2 lines. I would like to show what I have included. So this is my name, and I have included my GitHub, LinkedIn, and my personal website profile. And so one suggestion I would give if you're a fresher is to add a summary section over here, summary, or maybe your objective section over here. So what you want to achieve actually. So as I'm experienced, I need not to move with it. So I directly dealt with an education. And one more thing, if you see, I'm from NIT Surathkal previously, and as of now I'm pursuing PG diploma. Uh, uh, Actually, we should keep the pursuing first, and NIT, my previous college later. But what I did here, I've used NIT Surathkal because this adds more value to my resume. So I have put in the top, and I have kept my IGNU at the bottom. And so one more important thing I would like to share is regarding the projects, whatever you have done. So you can divide projects into two. One is experience, whatever you have gained during your professional life, and the projects you have done personally. So whatever the projects it is, I would like you to concentrate on few things. So if you see in the line number two, I have mentioned something about what you call lowering operational costs. So I'm specifying one good content amount by project. I'm not. So if you see in these 3 lines, first in the first line, I'm totally describing what is the project about. And in these 2 lines, I'm describing what I have done exactly. And in these 2 lines, I'm focusing on a few numericals and some cost base and everything. So you have to showcase your talent in such a way that it should attract a recruiter. So that might be reducing the operation cost, maybe, or in my case, I have dealt with high availability. So once you go into industry, you understand what are the important aspects and what you could do. And one more example I can show here is, so I'm just pointing out, we are able to get what you call a classification in 4 to 5 seconds. So these keywords, these numbers might help you in resume. So I would like you to suggest, make sure that you're writing what you call a small introduction about your project in 1 line, and showcase your content on the next lines, and make sure that you showcase some important and good points in this resume. And so this resume is for data engineering, and similarly I have done for computer vision. In this computer vision, I wantedly included a computer vision project which was not there in a previous, and I have what you call shifted my projects here and there. So previously this project might be somewhere in second or third, but here I have kept it bottom. So it depends upon your what you call profile you are applying. For example, if you are applying for a computer vision job, then I'll be uploading this profile which attracts these two projects at the top. And even you can change your personal projects accordingly. So I would suggest do some personal projects, at least 4 to 5, and based on your what you call recruitment job, you can add accordingly. And make sure that programming skills, add these keywords are quite helpful. Make sure that whatever tech stacks you have used, try to use in them. And if possible, try to include any certifications you have and courses you have, that will help you anyways. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, have a good resume, good template, and have a good representation it in LaTeX. And based on your job profile, what you call create a resume accordingly. Suppose if you feel that you want to create a particular resume for a particular job, that is also okay. For example, if you are trying for any data scientist job in Accenture, modify your resume accordingly. Maybe if you are trying it some another organization, if the JD's job description is quite different, modify it accordingly. So this is something about resume. And one more thing I would suggest with respect to, so one thing I would subject with respect to job search is be what do you call make good connections in LinkedIn. That is first thing. And second is focus on what you call referrals. Referrals are the important aspects. So if you have good connections, you can get referrals easily. Suppose if you want any data science job, check in your LinkedIn contacts who can help with you in any openings in their company. So first item could be referrals. Second, obviously, could be a LinkedIn apply, and post that go for Naukri. And there is another site which is popular quite nowadays is InstaHire. So these will help you as of now in Indian market. So be aware of few fake agents who might call you providing some what you call job, or maybe they will tend to fool you with some nominal amount, saying that you need to pay just 500 or 1000, that you will be getting reimbursed post you join job. So be aware of all these aspects. So once you enter, once you apply your resume either in Naukri or Shine or Insta or wherever it is, there are spammers who are trying to get in touch with you. First few days, just be alert, and from them, you understand now which is right and which is wrong. And one more important thing is patience is an important key over here. So don't get frustrated if you're not getting any job. Don't get frustrated if you're not getting any calls. Don't get frustrated. Each and every round you should learn something. I would suggest you to just keep a book or whatever it is, write the interview time and date, and understand whatever you have done right in that interview, and write whatever you have done wrong, and write what you could improve. So have a checklist of all these things and try to implement those. And for once every week, just check if you fulfilled all those checklist or not. So this is what I have been doing from last 2 months, and I have shared my experience. And let me know if I can help you in any way.
Thanks, Shashank. Thanks for providing your insights with us. Okay. And for some of you will be getting some idea, okay, about how to deal while moving on for making opportunities or getting opportunities in the job related section. So even Shashank is a part of our community. So if you will be feeling any kind of support, he'll be ready to help you in whatever the possible way. So thanks, Shashank. Thanks for joining. First of all, if you guys have any quick questions, one or two, you can ask, and Shashank can help you with that. Anyone? Yes,
Sir,
Yuvraj, please.
there are many courses, online courses. What they offer, guaranteed job and resume making. So, do they provide jobs or it's just an advertisement to attract the students?
There are two things. One is obviously attracting students. One is your hard work. So what I would suggest is, if you have knowledge, you can survive in any industry. So there are a few, what you call, few institutions claiming a job guarantee program. Especially there are genuinely job guarantee program that you have to search, and you should get some insights from others, and only then you should go. So if you feel and if you feel that amount is quite very low, maybe some 1,000 or 2,000, then that might be a fraud. In the sense, they might not help you to get a job guarantee with some small amount. So be cautious about that amount, and about you can suppose you can easily get, you with your gut feeling, you can easily understand, is it a, what you call, fake or it is a just marketing strategy. You can know it easily, or you can get it from any community members or friends, etc. So what I'm trying to say is, there are few genuinely job guarantee programs available in the market. Yeah.
Sir, for BA and DA job, is it necessary or is it advisable to do the course of 5 to 6 months from one institute, or Udemy or Google or others, Coursera will do?
For business analytics, I would suggest. Um, I don't think getting from institute is a good deal, because you can learn everything offline from Udemy, etc. So I don't think for business analytics it is required. Maybe if you are moving for machine learning, or maybe core data science, then I would suggest you to go for job guarantee program. For business analytics, you can focus on Tableau, Power BI, SQL. These are first three important aspects. And anyways, in the background, you have to learn pandas, matplotlib, etc. Once you feel you are not able to get seriousness, or maybe you are not able to get good resources, then going to job guarantee programs helps you to increase your seriousness as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
So I think I would like to right now, okay, Shashank, to thank him for the kind of contribution you have done till now, okay, and the kind of contribution you have ready to give it in this workshop. Okay, my whole idea is to give you all a sense of a job seeker who is currently looking in the market with taking risk to leave his previous job, so that you all can relate with him and you can know the kind of risk he have taken and the kind of risk that will be there on your head. So this is what we really this is why I really want to invite him. And yeah, it's very thankful for being here. Right now, I would like to give you all a brief idea that at the end of every session, what we are doing is that we'll be creating a icebreaker session where all the members who are part of our community or who are part of this workshop, okay, can give a brief idea about what they are up to till now, okay, and what they are really looking in the upcoming moment. So in this way, what we really trying to do is to get an idea of the cohort, okay, so that you all be able to relate with each other, and in the upcoming 2 weeks, you'll be able to help each other push a bit, what we can say, target oriented for yourself. And what we really think is that for the reason you have joined the workshop, how to break into data science, some of you get into data science with the workshop we have designed for you to go into. So I'll just start with my cohort or what I'll be doing, okay, and then I'll ask each one of you to give your views that what you are into right now, and where you wanna looking yourself, okay, and how you will be preparing yourself. So, as I think I have told in a bit about that, I'm a senior data scientist with a financial firm, DBK Technologies, which is in Navi Mumbai. Currently, my whole work moves around understanding the problems that has been developed using the data and what kind of difficulties is there and what kind of updates I can make within the data models, okay, so that we can improve our efficiency with the time, with the ongoing time basis. So this is what I'll be doing, and in the upcoming phase, I'm also into building a community space where I'll be interacting with all the data science people, understanding what kind of problems they are solving and where there is a chance of improving and what kind of improvements they'll be really looking in the upcoming 5 or 10 years. So this is what I basically involved in currently, and this is from where I'll be looking myself to move forward or move ahead. So I'll ask from each one of you who have joined us right now to give a bit introduction about yourself, and then we can just after going this open session, then we'll just move ahead to our end of this workshop, obviously. So Sudhakar, do you wanna give a bit idea about what you are into and what you're really looking for? Am I audible?
Yes, Akash, sure.
Okay. So anyone, if you want, you can give a brief idea. Sudhakar, Jugal, Rohan.
Okay, hello everyone. Rohan here. Am I audible?
Yeah, Rohan, we can hear you, please. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so currently I am with the healthcare IT company and I am working as an implementation analyst. My domain is basically electronic health records, and what I do is guide my clients towards EHR implementation. So, like once the developers have developed the product, the way in which the clients wants this EHR products to be customized for themselves, that's where I step in. I help them with the configuration related issues as well. So basically, I'm working as an L2 analyst for now. And in the past, like I have worked as a medical analyst as well, and I have worked with different data sets. But basically that work was related with the Excel. And while working as a medical analyst, like that was around 1.5 years back. So that's when the idea of data science, got me, and I that's how I began to pursue data science, and that's when I did my certification from IIM Raipur in data analytics. So that was a big learning curve for me. But since the lockdown and since like I joined my present company, which is Allscripts, like it's basically a night shift job, and I haven't been able to focus much on the data science aspect. uh, but I'm looking forward to it, and having this workshop, it I mean it really motivates. And when I see other enthusiasts joining and sharing their views, so that sort of keeps me on track. And the cohort that you have mentioned, I would like to, join that as well, and see how it goes from there. And yeah, it has been a very, very useful session for last couple of days, and I thank Ashi and Shashank for sharing their views. And yeah, it has been a great experience overall.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Rohan, for providing your insight at least. And as per you, I can, as I'll understand, you'll be pursuing a data analytics from IIM Raipur, right?
Yeah, I
We
pursued
have
it.
a,
I mean,
yeah.
I pursued it in fall of 2019.
Okay, so you have completed, you mean, or you are in verge of completing?
Yeah, I have completed it. I completed it in
Okay.
December 2019.
Okay, got an idea. So, all I'll be telling is that we have a member. His name is Arun. Okay, he is currently pursuing it. Okay, from IIM Amritsar actually. Okay,
Okay.
so it might be possible you will be able to relate the kind of opportunities you have tackled and kind of opportunities he has been tackling right now. Okay, so that you'll be keeping yourself in an updated mode and getting more ideas. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sounds great.
it's great to know about you. Okay, Sudhakar or Jugal, do you want to say something?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes, Sudhakar, we can hear you. We can hear you. A bit slow, but we can hear you.
Yeah, earlier I think you were not able to hear me. So yeah, I'm Sudhakar. I'm working as an SAP basis consultant with administration of the SAP software. I've been doing it for about 5 years now. And I planning to make smooth transition to be a data analyst role. So the pathway I created for myself is because I have to do the main first, which is important. Parallelly, I intend to invest from
Sudhakar, I think your voice is breaking. Is it breaking for me or for all everyone?
Yeah, it's breaking for me as well.
Or you or any other.
Sudhakar, we are unable to hear you clearly. Are we audible to you?
Yeah, I can hear you very. How about now?
Yeah, now a bit clear. Please.
Yeah, so like I said, I intend to learn over the next couple of months, and then since yesterday and today, based on what Ashi has given, a lot of interesting tips in terms of could be resumes or it could be about internships. That's been really useful for me to break into that space while I'm parallelly doing my current job. And then I would later on approach you all in terms of reaching out to people in the data analyst role in terms of getting a feedback and resume preparations if my resume looks good for or not for the to attend interviews. And parallelly from the different websites which offer the data sets, also build a portfolio to showcase, so that way when I attend an interview I'll have something to talk about. So yeah, that's where I see it going.
So yeah, I think all I got from the kind of conversation you have initiated is that you are a bit more interested for data science, and of course, do let us know if we can provide you any kind of support. Okay, whether being a member or in any way. Okay, so that you'll be able to land at certain positive positions within data science. Okay, and then we can even learn from you, or we can grow together, right? Thanks for sharing the insight. Jugal, do you wanna add something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Jugal,
thanks.
sir, I am a chartered accountant in practice since more than 9 years now. Since 2017, I'm searching for new field of analysis because I myself feel I'm good at in reading, analyzing, discussing, and making notes. In 2017, I visited that Thane. I think you are from Maharashtra, Thane. Uh, IMS Pro School, and what they advised me that BA is having a subject like statistics and probabilities. I couldn't go further. But since 3-4 years, in practice, in our CA practice, the scope of practice becoming very limiting factor now, because technology has taken over everything, and our institute since last 2 years focusing more and more on data. We have many seminar on data analytics, then Tableau, Power BI. But what clicked me in 2020, after June, the share market, the shares of technology companies, they just touch a sky. The booming in data science and data related companies. So it clicked me. Why? What is the main reason behind this shooting up shares? So then I understood that data is a great field, and it is in line with my interest of analyzing, reading, and discussion like that. Since last 1 month, I have been searching the field, the classes, and everyone. I also send my email, send my resume to one. I will not take name institute, but they rejected me because since I'm from commerce background, and they literally advised me that they are not able to provide job to any commerce background student. And thanks to these 2 days discussion, especially to Gaur Asi from Deloitte, uh, I came to know, I understood many new points, and many things are clear now.
So yeah, I think thanks, Juga. Okay, thanks for providing the insight. As you are a CA, okay, so I'm a startup, and I think you are one of the most important part of every startup life. Okay, we can't even move a step ahead. Okay, so we know a kind of importance, the kind of your skill set and the knowledge you lack. And yeah, I'd like to give you some brief idea that I haven't touched on with some of the CS. Okay, so in my current firm, there is a financial analyst who is CA by herself. Okay, and she'll be looking on the all kind of financial assets that a firm create, and where there is a problem, and in what way they are trying to hide the kind of problems. So in there are I can see a lot of scope in the data science side. Okay, mostly in the financial world. Okay, where a CA can make a great inputs or make some great contributions towards the execution, because you guys have the kind of domain expertise which is not even possible by an engineer. Okay, or somebody who's pursuing an MBA. So there are possibilities, and yeah, we'll good to know that you have got some positive insights from the workshop that we have created. So thank you. This is for today's guys. Okay, thanks. Thank you all for joining and getting valued by the kind of effort we have created for you. Yeah, Rohan, please.
Yeah. Hi, Akash. Sorry for interrupting. I just have one last question for Ashi. If you guys permit, or
please, yeah, please.
Okay. Ashi, you talked about model deployment yesterday during one of the slides.
Yes.
I have worked on several of the models, but I have never got to the point of deploying those models. So, could you just help me out with that? What I'm trying to tell is, are there any websites that help us to deploy the models and check how they are working, or give me some insight in that regard? That would be really helpful.
Yeah, those the same. So the majorly used link is actually GitHub and Kaggle. I have repeatedly used them because they are for this thing only. And apart from that, also the Data Government and Academic Torrent and Reddit, these are the sites where you can actually deploy your model. And also, if your model is like is a very great, like if you have verified from these portal also, then you can directly sell your your model to the companies who would be looking for. So maybe you can start with this, like for example, if you have created a model for an insurance industries, so the smaller insurance industries, you can actually approach them through LinkedIn and all, and then you can actually just share it, and or you can share it on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very good platform where you can just post that I have created this thing and all. So many people who would be looking forward to it will be liking your idea. So they will definitely reach out to you. So first step is obviously GitHub and Kaggle. Then we have Academic Torrent and Reddit, in which you get a community where the discussions are there. Then you can reach out to companies or you can post it over LinkedIn. So these are the steps.
Okay, so I just needed to know, how do we actually deploy the models? Is it something like, we just go ahead and upload it on the website, or is
Yes,
there?
yes. So majorly model deployment means that you are not keeping it to yourself. So for example, like what I used to do, for example, I am creating some Tableau or Power BI dashboards. So I am just keeping it to myself. Then obviously it is of no use. But when I publish it in public, maybe the Tableau public or the Power BI public, I share them with others. They also used to see it. They used to understand it, that that is what a model deployment is. That society is actually able to look upon your work. And now what can happen, maybe from that, maybe a company recruiter is there, or maybe an analytics manager is there who was looking for that idea only, and you just created it. So he
Okay,
can directly approach you for that thing. So that is model
okay,
deployment. Just don't keep it with yourself. Just publish your work, whatever you are doing, just publish it.
got it. So, like, say for example, our studio is on cloud, right? And I
Yes.
created, few of my models on them, and basically that were related to cricket. I had passion for it, and
Hmm.
I just went ahead and made a model to predict a batsman's score. So,
Right.
like, now that I have that link generated for it, does it mean to share that entire model with someone, including the line of codes and everything? Because the model would definitely have all those pieces of codes, right? Say for example there were
Right.
200 lines of codes, then share everything about that on the internet. I mean, or is there any way where we could be more
Right,
specific?
right. So, yeah, yeah, understood. So there are now two ways. So one way is use GitHub and Kaggle, in which the code part you can upload, and you can say that you have created this thing and it is your patent thing. Others can see it, and others can understand your. So that is on GitHub and Kaggle. The second way is that you write a small article about it, or maybe write a blog about it. That this was a data set I downloaded from this. This is the code which I have done. Don't write the code pura, just these were the codes, just a link to the code, and what were your findings, you can write, and then you upload this thing on LinkedIn or on the public websites. And then you tag all the cricket related companies or the sports related companies. So we have, for example, Team 11, who are using very much good analytics in sports. We have Sportjo, we have Sports Funda, Sports Kida. So just tag all these companies, so their people will get to know about it, and then they will make you popular, and they'll approach you, and they'll applaud you and praise you for your work. So these are the two ways in which you can do.
Oh wow, that's great to know. uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
got it. Thank you so much,
And
Ashish. Yeah.
anytime you guys can like reach out to me over WhatsApp, over LinkedIn, over email, if you want to like have any of the insights, or you want to know about the companies where which you can tag. So likewise, you can do it.
Yeah, sounds great, Ashi. I'll be in touch with you that way, surely.
Yeah,
Actually, for the
yeah.
question, what?
And
So much.
before,
Yeah, sorry, go on.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, Shashank,
So what I'm
continue.
saying is, for the question what Rohan has asked, I would like to add something, with
Yes,
your
yes.
permission. So Rohan, there is something called a live deployment, where you can use Heroku app, Heroku. So with this, you can deploy your model directly. So it is something, as you're saying about the prediction of batsman score. So wherein you can have your front end in the sense some sort of website. In the back end, your model is running. So you can deploy your model with the help of Heroku. So just go through what is Heroku and you will understand it in a good way. And second approach would be you can leverage cloud computing platforms like GCP and AWS. So these are cloud providers. And with this, you have 3 months and 1 year free trial. So you can leverage cloud computing as well as existing Heroku platform to what you call showcase your model lively, and you can just share your endpoint to them and they can go through it directly.
Got it, Shradha. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
So I was just saying the last question, which was from a CA. I just forgot the name. So just telling to him that I also came from BCom honors, and I was also having these type of questions only, that I won't be getting a job in data science or maybe analytics space because I am a non-tech person. But these days it is not that. Obviously, BTech people or tech people, they have an advantage, but we also have a space because we have an advantage of a domain expertise. So, and be it GST, be it income tax, be it CA, everywhere that analytics is being used. So, if you require a career shift or a job, so Big Fours and MBBs, the consulting companies are higher for the same. So, maybe you can get in touch with me because there are many vacancies for the CA in the analytics space in Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PwC, then McKinsey, BCG company. So maybe I can help in referring you for the same. So I just wanted to highlight it.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey guys, so I think it was really a nice session. We'll be able to get to all the members who are right now with us and get to know about them as well. Okay, so this is what we really looking to create workshop for, to help the people who are really looking for kind of support, not kind of learning, but kind of discussions where we can help. And this is what we have bring workshop into the part of our community building space. So yeah, thanks for joining in, and we will be there with you. Okay, for those who have joined for the workshop for the upcoming 2 weeks for any kind of support and positive requirements. Even as Yasi is also open to help you in any kind of support system will be needed. So all you need to do is to just ping our WhatsApp that what you're really looking for, and yeah, she'll be helping. And yeah, I would like to thank Ashi for this kind of positive approach for this two-day workshop as well, because I can see a lot of things that is not possible from my side as well. And I have also like to give a kind of support for Shashank, because he's also done something that is beyond right now my capabilities. So thank you guys. This is what we are really trying to do, to find the best people for a certain cases or for certain spaces and bringing them to help in a larger community sections. So this is all I really want to thank, and you can share your feedbacks in whatever possible way. And yep, thank you guys. We are just trying to sign off.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.